Hello and welcome to Get Decked, the video series where I make budget Magic the Gathering decks for your casual games night and to introduce friends and family members of the game. We're carrying on with Universe Beyond. We're going back to Middle-earth again for another one, and in this one we're going to be building an army worthy of Mordor. It's a black-red deck focused around the Lord of the Rings set. So yeah, let's dive in. Let's see what we've got here to work with. First, let's remind ourselves of the rules for Get Decked. So the decks are 60 cards. They're designed for 1v1 games. No format restrictions, although we are sticking just to Lord of the Rings cards in this one. Mostly commons and uncommons, no cards that cost more than $2 at time of recording. Limit ourselves to 12 different non-land cards for a good mix of consistency and variety. Strong themes, low to mid complexity, and just because it's casual doesn't mean it's weak or bad. So yeah, let's take a look at the deck list. So we've got 17 creatures, 13 sorceries, 6 enchantments, 24 land, and a mana curve off to the side there. So let's dive in. Let's see how we're going to win. So the aim of the deck is to build a huge army of orcs, single big army token, and basically just keep swinging with that and just have the biggest creature on the board, basically. And we've got a whole bunch of ways in the deck of supporting that. So let's look at Eastling Vanguard first. So 1 and black for a 2/1. When it dies, you amass orcs once. So amassing, if you missed out on the Lord of the Rings set or War of the Spark, where the amass mechanic first showed up. So what happens is, if you've got an army, you put a +1/+1 counter. So an army is like a creature token. If you don't control an army, you make a 0/0 army token first, and then you put the counter on it. So you never have more than one army token. So anything that says amass, you just keep adding more tokens to the army, and it's quite thematic actually, as the army keeps growing and eventually gets really, really big and out of control, and eventually it's the biggest creature on the board. Say, because we've got so many things in the deck that let us amass and keep adding tokens onto it. So yeah, really, really fun mechanic. Honestly, I'm really happy it came back in the Lord of the Rings set. So yeah, we've got 4 Eastling Vanguard, which I think on its own anyway is like a pretty fine like 2-drop anyway. It's a 2/1, and when it dies, it sort of replaces itself. So yeah, I think it's okay. 3 Dunland Crabane, 2 and a black for a 1/1. When it enters the battlefield, you amass orcs 2. So again, if you don't have an army already, this is sort of adding 3 power onto the board because it makes a 2/2 token, and then obviously then itself. But if you have the army already, then it's just adding more tokens onto it. So yeah, really like Dunland Crabane actually. It's also one of the few things we got in the deck that can actually block flyers actually. So yeah, really like this. Then we've got 3 Orcish Siege Master. This is from the Commander set. So 2 in red for a 0/5 with Trample. Other Orcs and Goblins you control have Trample, which is really good. We've got a lot of Orcs and Goblins in the deck anyway, but also, really importantly, is that the armies we amass are Orcs, so we really want to obviously give that Trample because it's going to, otherwise it's going to get chump blocked all day. So if we can give it Trample, then yeah, that obviously makes it a lot more threatening. And when Orcish Siege Master attacks, he has +X/+0 land turn, where X is the greatest power amongst creatures you control, which obviously synergizes with having a really big army. So yeah, really like Orcish Siege Master, really nice inclusion, I think. We've got 2 Barad-dûr. So it enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a legendary creature. We've got quite a few in the deck actually, so it's not a hard condition to meet. Taps to give black, or you can pay double X and black and tap to amass Orcs X. Activate only if a creature has died this turn. Obviously, playing red-black, we're probably going to be killing creatures a lot anyway. So just to have a repeatable source of amass, I think, as a mana sink, I think is pretty nice. Just nice to have it as an option, I think. So we're going to talk about what helps us win. So these are basically ways that we can keep supporting the army and also just more amass options. So we've got 2 Gothmog, Morgul Lieutenant, so 3 in the black for a 3/3. When he enters the battlefield, you amass 1 and gives all your creature tokens Death Touch. The army is pretty much I'm pretty sure it's the only creature token we make in the deck. So this is the thing, like if the army's getting really big, Death Touch is not really necessary, but it also doesn't hurt to have it. Like, Death Touch is kind of a keyword that becomes less valuable the bigger the creature becomes, but it's still welcome. And he's, say, for 4 mana, Gothmog's pretty decent. He's a 3/3. Again, he's doing the amass when he enters. He's all right. The real star of the show, though, is Malha, Uruk High Captain. So black and red for a 2/2 with Menace. If 1 or more +1/+1 counters that would be put on an army, goblin, or orc control, you basically put an extra 1 on. So so Malha lets our army grow essentially twice as quickly. Or not twice as quickly, but much, much faster and become bigger much quicker. So yeah, really, really like Malha. And then we've got 2 Ugluk of the White Hand, 2 a black and red for 3/3. Whenever another creature you control dies, you put a counter on him. If it was a goblin or orc, which I'd say about actually half the creatures in the deck are, I think, he gets 2 counters instead. So he's just going to get big as well. But I'd say mostly the star of the show here is Malha. So if you wanted to make this deck more efficient, I would just probably put an extra copy of Malher in, and like maybe not Gothmog, maybe, but that's just me. Obviously, I wanted to stick to using 12 cards because that's the format we use. But yeah, Malher is really good. Obviously, supports what we're doing. Then we've got 3 Book of Marzipal. It's a saga enchantments of 2 in a red. Chapter 1 is your Mass Orcs 1, Chapter 2 is your Mass Orcs 2, and then Chapter 3, all your creatures get +1/+0 gain menace and turn 10, which I think is pretty solid, just like it. Just more amassing, and then a nice board wide boost there at the end is pretty good, I think. We've got 4 Swarming of Moria, 2 in a red. You create a treasure token and then a Mass Orcs 2. So again, at the very least, this makes a 2/2 and a treasure token, I think, or puts 2 counters on something. So yeah, I think it's all right. Then we've got 3 Mordor Musters, 1 to black, just for a bit of card draw here, and you Mass Orcs 1 again. So yeah, just quite straightforward card. 3 March from the Black Gate. So in retrospect, I would actually probably do 3 Swarming of Moria and 4 March from the Black Gate, because I think March from the Black Gate is actually, like Malher, actually quite vital to making the deck work even better. So it's 1 to black for an enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, or whenever an army you control attacks you, Mass Orcs 1. So, your army swings, it's immediately going to get a counter from this effect. Obviously, you have multiples of them. It's going to get multiple triggers and get even more counters. You got Malher out, giving them extra counters as well. Very, very quickly could build up a really, really big, scary army that's really difficult to deal with. So, yeah, that's in retrospect 4 March from Black Gate and 3 Swarming of Moria. I've literally only just thought of that while doing the narration now. Then we're going to talk about what stops them winning. So just removal options. So we've got 3 Foray of Orcs, so 3 in a red. You amass Orcs 2, and then when you do Foray of Orcs, deals X damage to target creature and opponent controls, where X is the amassed army's power. So again, at the absolute ceiling, the floor of this is 3 in a red. You make a 2/2, and it does 2 damage to an opponent's creature, which is like not terrible, I think, for 4. But I think it's got a really, really high ceiling because obviously it's amassing. You might already have an existing army out. And then you can do even more damage to kill off, really, really big creatures. So yeah, I quite like Foray of Orcs. And then got 3 Feed the Swarm, which just bypasses the need to do damage at all. It's just a straight up kill spell. Also gets enchantments as well. Just 1 to black, but it does have a bit of life loss attached to it. So just you haven't got any life gain in the deck. So just be careful. Don't aim too big. But obviously, it's usually better just to kill a creature and take the life loss rather than have it stick around, especially if it's a really problematic creature. And then we're going to quickly talk about the mana base. So 4 for Boding Ruins, which is to black-red dual land, and then 10 swamps and 8 mountains. So I'd love to know what you think about this deck, about amassing a big army of orcs to take over Middle Earth. Do you have a friend who likes Lord of the Rings who you think they'd like playing this deck, or maybe you have the Lord of the Rings starter set, and so because a lot of the contents of this deck can be found in the Lord of the Rings starter set. So if you've got that, you've kind of got the foundation to build this deck anyway. So yeah, that's always an option there. But I'd love to know what you think about this one. Do stick a comment down below if you like the look of it. But we're back next time. We're going to do another Universe Beyond deck. We're going to go across the Wastelands next time. So we're going to see how that works out. So I hope you join me for that one. But until then, thanks for watching and listening, and have a great day.